Hello everyone, Juxtaposition here. Today's video will be entitled Esoteric versus Exoteric, and I'm going to be drawing a line in the sand here regarding those people who are in the public realm and those people who are temple worshipers or invited into a secret society where with secret oaths and an omerta code of silence. Omerta code of silence, like the mafia, like the military, like corporate America, right? Like Harvard University, Stanford University, the chancellors of all the great universities in the world, the Frankfurt School, the King's College, the Oxford School, places like that. All right. So to cut to the chase here, esoteric is having to do with matters for a secret society closed group. In other words, a private, none of your business, got to be invited in, got to be born into this esoteric secret society. It really defines who you are and what privileges that you'll receive in our militarized world, right? We have a world that's governed by Swiss banking authority. And the primary enforcement arm of that is the policing of NATO. NATO is the military forces throughout the world. That means communist China. That means Soviet Russia. That means the recalcitrant Ukrainians. That means the Iranians. And it means the United States of America with its pseudo fake 4th of July parade and Veterans Day and Memorial Day, all celebrating Swiss military, right? Because the United States has no money. We're not a sovereign nation. We have no constitution. We have a prop that's a joke called the Constitution. Nobody follows it, least of all the judges. They're clueless. They know that they follow maritime law. That's the only thing they care about is they're part of a secret society of a cabal involving the district attorney or the attorney general's office and other members of the bar. Members of the bar, barristers and attorneys, not lawyers, not solicitors. I'm talking about members of the bar. They're in an esoteric secret society with their own language and their own gobbledygook fake ethics, which means no ethics, operating within a kangaroo court. Every element of our society is thus. It's the same. It's the same at the airport. It's the same if you try to get on a plane, get on a train, get on a bus, use our port facilities. You're going to be going through a militarized system of maritime law. Okay. I'm very self assured because I'm very experienced. That's why I'm self assured. I didn't learn everything by Googling it. Okay. All right. So we have applied linguistics in play, thanks to people like Avram Noam Chomsky, which is lying in plain view, lying, bald face lying to your face. It's liar, liar, pants on fire, double meanings, double entendres. No one says what they mean. Nobody knows that words do have meanings and meanings matter, but in applied linguistics, it's the weaponization of the meanings of words, the perversion, so that words can have multiple meanings depending if you are in the secret society class or if you're in the profane, clueless public. Exoteric is language designed for public consumption. The profane people, the clueless people, the people who are not initiated, people who are invited into a secret society are also referred to as initiates because they are invited in and essentially baptized into a secret society with their code of conduct within that chain of command. They typically have a hierarchy, obelisk pyramid that they follow within their secret society. So let me just name some secret clubs or societies that you may be familiar with. Knights of Malta, Knights Templar, okay, Bohemian Club, Olympic Club, World Trade Club, Bankers Club, University Club, Harvard Club, right? The Princeton Supper Club. Let's see what else I got here. Church of Scientology, right? A Catholic Church, right? The Roman Catholic Church out of Rome, Italy, and the Vatican, right? The LDS Mormon Church, headquartered in Salt Lake City, 20 miles north of the Utah data center. What a coincidence that Utah was chosen for the data center, a satanic, unholy place using Oracle database and Palantir data mining tools to basically spy on all Americans and all peoples throughout the world. Now they're going to build, dozens of databases throughout the world. It's not going to just be the Mormons. It's everywhere all the time. Because as we collect more metadata by using the TerraSwarm system of smart dust and messages and mandatory vaccination of farm animals and converting all the humans basically into dairy cows so that they can be harvested with their energy reverse engineered into a lithium battery somewhere. So we're going to be building more lithium battery storage and data storage facilities throughout the world. It's all part of our secret government, right? Our secret government isn't so secret, but we like to pretend that it is. It's in Geneva, Switzerland. If you want to know where it is, it's in the House of Peace. That's called NATO. It's also at the World Banking Group. That's in Geneva, Switzerland, right? Geneva, Switzerland is World Banking Group. International Monetary Fund is in Geneva. The Bank for International Settlements is in Basel, okay? And every single important bank in Switzerland, for example, UBS, Union Bank of Switzerland, or Credit Suisse, which is a subsidiary of UBS, is in Zurich, okay? And then Jennifer Doudna, her company, CRISPR Therapeutics, believe it or not, that is a banking company too, having to do with modifying all humans, their DNA, gene editing through gene editing CRISPR. CRISPR Therapeutics is the human augmentation of the DNA of people, turning them into cyborg computer robots for computer to brain commands and interface, taking the command from the algorithms in the sky. All right. And that's in Zug. Zug, Switzerland is not far from Davos, where they have the World Economic Forum conference in January each year, where they tell you that you'll own nothing and be happy by 2030, if not sooner. There are many homeless people that own nothing now, today in 2026. So, mission accomplished. The United Nations Agenda 2030, which is the Great Sustainability Plan, by making everyone poor, by blowing up the world, by destroying small businesses, by imploding families, by destroying, local religions and churches using face diapers and preposterous monarch mind control fear techniques called COVID and COVID-19, which stands for Certification of Identity Status, Vaccine Identity Status, Artificial Intelligence. Certification of vaccine identity, artificial intelligence. In other words, hooking up all the vaccinated people to the cloud. Now, everyone is attached to the cloud already because of the Raytheon Missile Guidance and Lockheed and Bell Nokia Labs. We've all ingested vaccinated food from farms, and we've been breathing the polluted air of aluminum and lithium and plastic, graphene, pollution. So everybody is tethered to the cloud, whether you believe it or not. You have ringing in your ears, headaches, Havana syndrome symptoms. Havana syndrome is COVID. Havana syndrome is COVID. There is no such thing as a global pandemic. This is, of course, ludicrous. But it's surprising that most people believe in ludicrous things, but they do. They also think that the Super Bowl isn't fixed and that all the players aren't on drugs. I mean, you got to be dumber than a box of rocks to believe in stupid things. Anyway, the people of the esoteric category, they know about gematria and they know about the Hebrew alphabet and how to assign numbers and relate them to the letters of the alphabet. And they know how to tag street addresses and use ages of people and dates to create disastrous things like the Hellfire air to ground missile that is called the Hellfire 114 air to ground missile. 114 is 6. 6 is 33. It's the highest level of obedience, the highest level of compliance within the pyramid of power that is known to sophisticated initiates who exist within a secret society of esoteric content. Esoteric content. Exoteric content, well, that's TikTok, that's videos if you watch with Tucker Carlson or Stu Peters or Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. That's for profane people. Those are designed for profane people, just like Anthony Napolitano and Jeffrey Sachs, Victor Davis Hanson, Naomi Wolf, Simone Gold, Jane Rubenstein, John Campbell, Dr. John, fake Dr. John Campbell, Dr. Drew Pinsky, Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Robert Kennedy Jr., Cheryl Hine, his third wife. They are designed for the profane, clueless, low IQ, completely blithering idiots who don't even look up at the sky and see the smart dust above their head. That's who Tucker Carlson is intended for. That's who Alex Jones is intended for. You don't see Alex Jones doing messaging videos or smart dust or Jennifer Doudna CRISPR Therapeutics video. He doesn't do that. Neither does Joe Rogan. He invites Peter Thiel on the show, and they don't discuss anything to do with smart dust or gene editing. It takes a lot of stupidity to watch Joe Rogan. I mean, you got to be stoned on acid and vodka, both. All right. What I wanted to tell you is that the idea of we got to follow the science. Science is supposed to be based on principles, and the principles should be open-mindedness is the number one principle of science, and that you should debate and test and hypothesize and retest your principles of belief, your belief principles in science. And COVID, of course, was not about science. It was about mantra, obedience, and take the command. Comply with your orders from the government. All governments, because you notice all the governments had a universal same policy for masking, for social distancing of 6 feet, for we all got to get vaccinated when a vaccine presented itself under Operation Warp Speed. And then we talk about lawfulness, but you do know that many laws are unethical and should not be followed, right? There are many unethical laws. Okay. Like, they want to get all the firearms out of the citizens' hands, right? Well, they have invented every year, they have more and more laws to take guns away from people, how you store your guns, what room of the house they're in. The police have a dozen different ways to remove weapons from lawful owners. So if you have a system where you have a lawful ownership of a gun, and yet your gun can be stolen from you by the sheriff, I would say that you have an unlawful society, right? The laws are unlawful. They're contradictory, they're ambiguous, they're confusing deliberately on purpose within the maritime law construct. You do know that the reason why no one understands what's going on in a courtroom is because the participants make up the rules as they go. It's whatever they want to decide in the parking lot or in the men's room. That's what the law is. It's got nothing to do with any constitutional rights. No Sixth Amendment, no First Amendment, no Fourth Amendment is in play in a maritime courtroom. They don't have any idea what I just said. Anyway, gematria has to do with the Hebrew alphabet and associating numbers and letters into a messaging cipher, into ciphers. And the initiates of people who join the church or part of a Christian ecclesiastical society, to become a priest or a bishop or a deacon, either in the Mormon LDS church or in the Roman Catholic Church, they know all about the little secret handshakes and the secret codes. In the LDS church, they have special secret baptismal things where they baptize people who've been dead for 100, 200, 300 years. They baptize them into the LDS Mormon church, even though the person has no consent. He offers no consent, and they'll baptize them as a Mormon in a baptismal chamber with no windows. And that's similar for when you get married in the LDS Mormon church. They have sealing rooms. And I think the sealing rooms are more or less the exact same thing as where they baptize the dead people. Maybe it's the pool next door. And they have what's called Baptismal font, the LDS baptismal font. Then they have where they'll do the photo ops of a wedding couple by the Main Street Plaza of a reflection pond. So the Mormon Church is all about obelisks. So they have steeples at their temple, which are a form of the hierarchy of the chain of command, because the Mormon Church is based on Masonic military code. It's a code of ethics. It's an Emerita secret code. That's why Mormons don't want to talk about what goes on in baptismal font rooms or what goes on in a sealing room, or a font room. That's all top secret in the Mormon Church, right? And if you're not a member, if you're a profane person, Mormons think you're profane if you're not a member in good standing, paying money and tithing on a regular basis. They think you're profane. Well, I'm as profane as you can get. I have many, many Mormon ex-friends. I'd say none of them were ever friends. They were fake friends. They're very, very deceptive, and they use every trick. Mormons lie. They lie like rugs. I've never met a Mormon who wasn't a liar, a bald-faced liar. Every single Mormon I met is a bald-faced liar. And I've met probably around 80 Mormons where I've spent time with, about 80. So that's 80 liars I have known. That includes the women too. The women are liars too, where they're mostly like mind-controlled Stepford wives. All right. So anyway, what I want to tell you is the Catholic Church is no different. It's very much the same. You know, in the Catholic Church, they have what's called 7 sacraments of faith. And I've personally been through most of them, but not all. First, you're born and then you're baptized, right? That's called initiation. Well, all secret societies have an initiation or baptismal procedures, whether it's the Church of Scientology or the LDS Mormon Church, whether it's Jim Jones and the People's Temple, right? People's Temple. There was no Jones Temple, there's a People's Temple. So Mormons are no different than Jim Jones. They're no different than Church of Scientology, and they're no different than the dope of a Pope, Pope Leo, in the Vatican. They all have their baptismal, baptismal font. Then in the Catholic Church, the next step is to, when you're in first grade, you have your Eucharist or your First Holy Communion, in which you practice every Sunday for the rest of your life, every time you go to Mass. Could be Saturday evening, could be Sunday morning, but you take the Holy Communion, which is called the Eucharist, the body of, and you drink the wine too. So it's the body and blood of Jesus. This is the Eucharist. All right, that third sacrament of faith in the Catholic Church is what's referred to as healing, also known as penitence and reconciliation, known as the sacrament of confession. In the Church of Scientology, they call it auditing. And of course, the more audits you go on, the further you move up in the level of the pyramid of the obelisk of power within Church of Scientology. It's not that different in the Catholic Church. We have healing, penance, and reconciliation through confession, also known as surveillance and mind control. All right, number 4 sacrament of faith is confirmation, which is where you receive the Holy Spirit into your body through a ritual ceremony in a church, in a Catholic church. Number 5 is the anointment of the sick. I haven't done that one. Then number 6 is the vocation, which is entering into matrimony or marriage, is vocation. It's a service ritual, and that's a sacrament that I've done, which is vocation. And number 7 is taking your holy orders, which also known as ordination, because it's orders, the ordination of becoming a priest or a deacon or a bishop. There is a holy order, and that's the Catholic Church. But you'll notice the LDS Mormon Church adopts many of those same rituals. So anyway, whether it's your local Masonic club, whether it is you're joining the Knights of Malta, or you're invited to a cocktail party or a dominoes competition like I was for the Knights of Malta, there's a social events to recruit new people. There is then a missionary aspect of all the societies. They're all out scouting. I call it scouting for new members. The Mormon Church apparently sends missionaries out throughout the world and simultaneously baptizes people who've been dead for 200 years. So talk about trying to get your numbers up. It's like trying to exaggerate the victims of the Holocaust. That kind of sums up the Mormon Church, where their numbers are growing even if they're stagnant. All right, well, that's my video for today, is that if you don't know about the secret societies, then you are considered profane. But on the other hand, being a member of a secret society and knowing all the rules is kind of perverted too. So what would you rather be, profane or perverted? Those are your choices between esoteric and exoteric. Thanks very much. Do like and share my videos. I am heavily shadow banned for a reason. Take care now. Bye-bye.